With my father? I'm the nurse in a Romeo and Juliet. You know, I've got a good step outside.
Suzanne all ready? Okay.
You got it. So, and he's turning, and this is on. Okay, thanks very much. Yes. Would you tell Bruce?
You don't belong on this side, I hate to tell you.
We have a very busy constable.
We had your dad with a we're going to have, you may have seen change, changing of the half the people. After Hamlet, Paul will announce, give us a minute, we're changing of the guard. All will follow. Bruce knocked it to
John, these are not the right gloves. There's some other gloves in the bag there. Excuse me.
Okay, I'll tell him that he doesn't do it. But he did. Yes.
The last night.
You'll do cell phones off.
I will do.
Okay, you're not at the beginning.
We may need more chairs. Is it filling up? I can't tell.
And you'll have Suzanne sit
Yes,
there.
sit there. We may need seats coming. Still got room?
It's about full, and they're going to bring out some more.
Yeah, I think I need more.
Gloves in here.
I saw Suzanne ages ago.
She's here.
Oh, okay, no, I thought she was going to sit up front.
Yeah, she is.
Oh, excuse me. Excuse me, I need some
That's okay, I'll just go to the right.
Oh, then, you know what? I should have good idea, but you know what? Yeah, that's what I think.
Yes, well, we're trying to, we're ready to go.
We have a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, they
it would
didn't
be.
sign up.
Well, that's all right.
Okay. Now, where
So
are
then
the,
we may not sit up there.
This is your seat. Yeah, I've got. Would you like some a bottle of water? Open. Oh, you got two. I got two. These are not open, so. Whoop. The microphone is
I'm not worried because my daughter is coming in. I was told that we had such a light staff.
Right there.
That they were filling the seats, but it's still enough.
Exactly, and don't budge it, don't knock it,
You make fun.
don't hit it. Have a seat.
I'm gonna take my side in.
Please do.
My side.
You've got it, Suzanne. You cannot lean on that chair. The mic goes off. Yeah. As it did when you sat down, you leaned on it. Boom. So.
Okay. Now, when Paul said after Hamlet,
The whole lot was a great idea, but
That makes it easier.
get up,
I've been looking at
come on the stage,
distracted.
and wait
Moment that the sun is
till
getting
these
brighter.
people come out and take their seats and then go in. Okay. Paul, remember there's a roadblock potential here, so have these at the changeover after Hamlet.
Yeah.
Have those people, get them up over here.
I can't do that easily. I mean, they won't if they don't know which side they're on.
Well,
I don't know
this
what
is,
to do.
we're doing this because people want to see it.
No, I know that.
Just get them to come up and then get these people to come out, and we'll do the best we can, because we can't have
Do you want them to come up first? And
I
then
want them to come, I want the people in the audience to come up first,
Yes.
stand here peacefully.
Oh, okay.
Then these people will come out, take their place, and they'll go in.
Honey, could you open a bottle because I can't?
Yes, yes. Whoops, see, I can't reach.
Did you touch that?
Yeah, that's on. That's on.
Do you need some? Just waiting for the words.
Yeah, I gotta get that off. Do you have the thing, that little thing to put it in, or should I put it in my pocket? You okay?
Except it won't come on.
Want me to get up? Get Dolores to do it. No, I'll do it if you can.
Oh, I touched the chair. Very comfortable spot. I would so much rather be back.
Excuse me.
I want to be back there.
You can, but you'll miss the play.
It's all right. I'm afraid to. Do you want to come over here?
Okay.
Leonie goes
Okay.
first.
The people took the seats.
Yeah,
The people over there are going to be standing, they're going to be over
they're
there.
gonna be standing.
We're just,
Yeah.
the idea is take these cast members, get them in here, but first get them out of their seats, have these cast members do those do that.
Where's my thing? Where's my stand?
It's in there. I'll bring it out. You want to sit with it?
What time? Where are you?
Okay, just about. I'm double checking. Okay, is everybody? stool is right there.
Well, this is so sensitive. You go like this, and
Just touching it.
if you stomp, it goes off. He has it up just below the screen point because yeah. See what happens? So if he makes it any
Go ahead.
higher, it's going to squeal.
Go ahead.
Just wait till they sit down. I like to use that.
It'd be hard to take out and get back.
No.
They'll hear you.
Forward.
They will if I lean over and
No,
talk like that.
Sure.
Good afternoon, everyone. We have a long performance, so I think we'd like to get started. And I just want to say a few words about the significance of this wonderful performance that you're about to see. Does everybody know Francis Adelson, the great Francis Adelson, who started this whole idea 8 years ago with a mere hour of Shakespeare? Since her time, when she first had that idea, we have transformed, not we, but they, the players, and Francis, Bill Boone in particular, have transformed this concept of Shakespeare at HILR into an elaborate and wonderful, joyous occasion where all of you benefit by hearing the familiar words that you love so much and hearing them in a different setting and a different context. And as my personal experience is, every time you hear a line of Shakespeare, you get something more out of it in a different way. And I think that our speaker, we had a very special speaker on Friday come and talk to us about the eternal relevance of Shakespeare, and talked about how all these players, with the eons of experience that they have between them, bring such a sense of, I didn't say age, not talking about aging, we're just talking about the value of experience. And he said they bring so much to each performance because of all that collective wisdom. And so you're in for a wonderful treat this afternoon. And I'd actually like to bring the person who's responsible out. Bill Boone, could you come out here for a second? Here is. This is the person who has not just made the sets, painted them, had the idea for all the costumes, but has worked with Francis all these years to develop this extraordinary concept, this extraordinary production. And he acts, he produces, he directs, he does everything. And the other thing that he has just done is to throw out a challenge to all of you. Bill is willing to pay $7,500 if we can raise to the other $2,500 to bring it up to $10,000, to start a Shakespeare fund at HILR that will serve our performances, will pay for various aspects of the performances, not the set, because we have the set, not the costumes, because he's made the costumes, but we'll bring Shakespearean scholars, such as we had the other day. We'll bring over actors from the ART to help us with acting, with what else? We'll do all sorts of things. We'll have readings, play readings, and we'll have other performances, so whatever we can think of, Bill and I will happily provide it. But we need to raise the money. I sound like WGBH.
And you get a Shakespeare T-shirt with $400.
But here is the inspiration for this extraordinary effort, and he is putting up the money. We're almost there, as a matter of fact. We are. You don't even know this, but we are.
Don't tell them.
Don't say a
If you're
word.
close, don't tell
We're
them.
very close. We need your help, and as soon as we get to the $10,000, we're going to have a huge celebration, even bigger than usual. So think about that. Think about what it means to you to be able to have this wonderful group in your midst. We love them all so much. We value them so much, and if you care about it, whip out your checkbook. It's not separate from the annual fund. I know you're getting hit all around, but we just want you to think, if you want to give your money towards the Shakespeare instead of something else or in addition to something else, we're more than happy to take it. And with that, we give you the Shakespeare Players. Thank you.
I'm going to start with an announcement that was not made at the old Globe Theater, which is undoubtedly made at the new Globe Theater. Please turn off your cell phones. Good afternoon. I'm Paul Pemsler, and I would like to extend a hearty welcome to the latest production of the Francis Adelson Shakespeare Players. Today's performance is entitled All in the Family. While we have no characters named Archie or Edith Bunker, nor Meathead, as Archie called his son-in-law, surely prejudice and intergenerational conflicts are prominent. For Shakespeare knew all too well the pain that people can inflict upon one another. Mention the plays from which today's scenes are taken: Julius Caesar, Othello, Hamlet, Romeo and Juliet, King Lear, and we picture murder, deceit, madness, and jealousy, the seamiest side of our humanity. But within these, there are also moments of love and concern and even humor between wife and husband, parent and child. We begin with Julius Caesar. Uneasy lies the head of Julius Caesar, he who aspires to the crown, and uneasy lies the head of Marcus Brutus, he who was persuaded to help keep it from him. Who better than Brutus' wife could sense what was in the wind? Today we see Portia confront her husband on the night before that fateful day, the Ides of March. Charlie Collins will play the part of Brutus, and Eileen Collins will play Portia. Pat Meany is the servant. Let's all join in the conspiracy.
Enjoy the honey-heavy dew of slumber. Thou hast no figures, nor fantasies that busy care write in the brains of men. And therefore thou sleeps so sound.
Brutus, my lord.
Portia, what mean you? It is not for your health thus to commit your weak condition to the raw cold morning.
Nor for yours neither. You ungently, Brutus, stole from my bed. And yesternight at supper, you suddenly arose and walked about, musing and sighing with your arms across. And when I asked you what the matter was, you stared upon me with ungentle looks. I urged you further. Then you too impatiently scratched your head and stamped your foot. Yet I insisted, yet you answered not, but with an angry wafture of your hand gave sign for me to leave you. So I did, fearing to strengthen that impatience which seemed too much enkindled, and withal hoping it were but an effect of humor, which sometimes has its hour with every man. It will not let you eat, nor talk, nor sleep. And could it work so much upon your shape, as it has much prevailed upon your condition, I should not know you, Brutus. Dear my lord, make me acquainted with your cause of grief.
I am not well in health, and that is all.
Brutus is wise, and were he not in health, he would embrace the means to come by it.
And so I do. Portia, go to bed.
Is Brutus sick? And is it physical to walk unbraced and suck up the humors of the dank morning? What, Is Brutus sick? And will he steal from his wholesome bed to dare the vile contagion of the night and tempt the rheumy and unpurged air to add unto his sickness? No, my Brutus, you have some sick offense within your mind, which by the right and virtue of my place I ought to know of. And upon my knees I charm you by my once commended beauty, by all your vows of love, and that great vow which did incorporate and make us one, that you unfold to me yourself, your half, why you are heavy, and what men tonight have had to resort to you. For here have been some 6 or 7 who did hide their faces even from darkness.
Kneel not, gentle Portia.
I should not need if you were gentle Brutus. Within the bonds of marriage, tell me, Brutus, is it accepted I should know no secrets that appertain to you? Am I yourself, but as it were in sort or limitation, to keep with you at meals, comfort your bed, and talk to you sometimes? Dwell I but in the suburbs of your good pleasure? If it be no more, Portia is Brutus's harlot, not his wife.
You are my true and honorable wife, as dear to me as are the russet drops that visit my sad heart.
If this were true, then should I know this secret. I grant I am a woman, but withal a woman well reputed, Cato's daughter. I grant I am a woman, but withal a woman that Lord Brutus took to wife. Think you I am no stronger than my sex, being so fathered and so husbanded? I have made strong proof of my constancy, giving myself a voluntary wound here in the thigh. Could I bear that with patience, and not my husband's counsels?
O ye gods, render me equal and worthy of this noble wife. Hark, one knocks. Portia, go in a while. And by and by thy bosom shall partake the secrets of my heart. And all my engagements I will construe to you, all the charactery of my sad brows. Now, leave me in haste.
King Lear, iconic words for the hazards of old age. For who does not fear loss of capacity to handle one's own affairs? Who among us does not know a family where children have inveigled a parent? But within this play, this powerful meditation on aging, there is also a subplot of a brother conspiring against a brother to deceive a parent. Edmund, the bastard son of Gloucester, has come up with a plan to usurp his brother's inheritance and gain his father's land and money. We join Herb Hillman as Edmund, bastard son of Gloucester, Fred Martin as Edgar, the rightful heir, and Andy Lane as Gloucester.
Thou, nature, art my goddess. To thy law my services are bound. Wherefore should I stand in the plague of custom and permit the curiosity of nations to deprive me, for that I am some 12 or 14 moonshines lag of a brother? Why, bastard? Wherefore base? When my dimensions are as well compact, my mind is generous, and my shape as true as honest madam's issue. Why brand they us with baseness? Base? Bastardy? Base? Base? Who in the lusty stealth of nature take more composition and fierce quality than doth within a dull, stale, tired bed go to the creating a whole tribe of fops got 'tween asleep and wake? Well then, legitimate Edgar, I must have your land. Our father's love is to the bastard Edmund as to the legitimate. Fine word, legitimate. Well, my legitimate, if this letter speed and my invention thrive, Edmund the base shall top the legitimate. I grow, I prosper. Now, God, stand up for bastards.
Edmund, how now? What news?
So please your lordship, none.
I so earnestly seek you to put up that letter. What paper were you reading?
Nothing, my lord.
The quality of nothing hath not such need to hide itself. Let's see, come. If it be nothing, I shall not need spectacles.
I beseech you, sir, pardon me. It
me-
is a letter from my brother that I have not all o'er read.
Give me the letter, sir.
I hope for my brother's justification. He hath wrote this but as an essay or taste of my virtue.
This policy and reverence of age makes the world bitter to the best of our times, keeps our fortunes from us till our oldness cannot relish them. I begin to find an idle and fond bondage in the oppression of aged tyranny, who sways not as it hath power, but as it is suffered. Come to me, that of this I may speak more. If our father would sleep till I waked him, you should enjoy half his revenue forever, and live the beloved of your brother Edgar. Conspiracy. Sleep till I waked him. You should enjoy half his revenue. My son, Edgar, had he a hand to write this? A heart and brain to breed it in? When came this to you? You know the character to be your brother's?
It is his hand, my lord, but I hope his heart is not in the contents.
Hath he never heretofore sounded you in this business?
Never, my lord. But I have heard him maintain it to be fit that sons at perfect age, with fathers declining, the father should be as ward to the son, and the son manage his revenue.
Oh, villain! Villain! His very opinion in the letter. Abhorred villain. Unnatural. Detested. Brutish villain. Worse than brutish. Go, sirrah, seek him. I will apprehend him, abominable villain.
I dare pawn down my life for him, that he hath wrote this to feel my affection to your honor, and to no further pretense of danger.
Think you so?
If your honor judge it meet, I will place you where you shall hear us confer of this, and by an auricular assurance have your satisfaction.
He cannot be such a monster.
Nor is not, sure.
To his father who so tenderly and entirely loves him? Heaven and earth, Edmund. Seek him out. Wind me into him, I pray you. Frame the business after your own wisdom.
I will seek him, sir.
These late eclipses of the sun and moon portend no good to us. The wisdom of nature can reason it thus and thus, but nature finds itself scourged by the sequent effects. Love cools. Friendship falls off. Brothers divide. In cities, mutiny. In countries, discord. And in palaces,
treason. The bond is cracked twixt son and father. This villain of mine meets the description. It's son against father. We have seen the best of our times. Machinations, hollowness, treachery, and all ruinous disorders follow us disquietly to our graves. Find out this villain, Edmund. It shall lose thee nothing. Do it carefully.
This is the excellent foppery of the world. When we are sick in fortune, often the surfeit of our own behavior, we make guilty of our disasters the sun, the moon, and the stars. As if we were villains by necessity, fools by heavenly compulsion, knaves, thieves, and treachers by spherical predominance, drunkards, liars, and adulterers by an enforced obedience of planetary influence, and all that we are evil in by a divine thrusting on. An admirable evasion of Whoremaster Man to lay his goatish disposition to the charge of a star. My father compounded with my mother under the dragon's tail, and my nativity was under Ursa Major, so that it follows that I am rough and lecherous. Food. I should have been that I am had the Magdalena star in the firmament twinkled on my bastardizing. Edgar. And pat he comes, like the catastrophe of the old comedy. My cue is villainous melancholy, with a sigh like Tom of Bedlam. Oh, these eclipses do portend these divisions. Fa, sol, la, mi.
How now, Edmund? What serious contemplation are you in?
I am thinking, brother, of a prediction I read this other day, what should follow these eclipses.
Do you busy yourself with that?
I promise you, the effects he writes of succeed unhappily as unnaturalness between the child and the parent. Death, dearth, disillusions of amities, divisions in state, menaces and maledictions against king and nobles. I know not what.
How long have you been a sectary astronomical?
Oh, come. When saw you my father last?
Why, the night gone by.
Spake you with him?
Aye, 2 hours together.
Parted you in good terms? Found you no displeasure in him by word or countenance?
None at all.
Bethink yourself wherein you may have offended him, and at my entreaty, forbear his presence till some little time hath qualified the heat of his displeasure, that with the mischief which at this instant so rageth in him, that with the mischief of your person it would scarcely allay.
Some villain hath done me wrong.
That's my fear. I am no honest man if there be any good meaning towards you. I have told you what I have seen and heard. Pray you, away.
Shall I hear from you anon?
I do serve you in this business. A credulous father, and a brother noble whose nature is so far from doing harms that he suspects none, on whose foolish honesty my practices ride easy, I see the business. Let me, if not by birth, have lands by wit. All with me's meet that I can fashion fit.
Hamlet is a play of murder, regicide, parricide, madness, poison, with a very high body count. It can stand up there with Terminator 2, Godzilla, and There Will Be Blood. A new production of Hamlet opened this fall and played in a 16th century castle in Elsinore, as well as London, before moving to its current venue on Broadway. Jude Law, the featured Hamlet, is reported to play the role with the adrenaline level of an Olympic track competitor. With much gesticulating and violent enunciation, he nails his speeches with the attack of an electric hammer. This is perhaps a bit much for our Hamlet, however great the shape he's in. In Act 3, Scene 4, we find Hamlet confronting his mother, Queen Gertrude, in her chamber about the death of his father, the former king. Len Laster plays Hamlet, Barbara Carlson is Queen Gertrude, Norm Veman is the ghost of Hamlet's father, and please allow a moment for me to become Lord Polonius, an early on victim. He will come straight. Look you, lay home to him. Tell him his pranks have been too broad to bear with. I'll sconce me even here. Pray you, be round with him.
Mother! Mother! Mother!
Fear me not. Withdraw. I hear him coming.
How now, Mother? What's the matter?
Hamlet, thou hast thy father much offended.
Mother, you have my father much offended.
Have you forgot me?
Nay, by the rood, not so. You are the queen, your husband's brother's wife. And by the rood, would it were not so, you are my mother. Come and sit you down, sit you down. You shall not budge, you go not, till I have set you up a glass where you may see the inmost part of you.
What wilt thou do? Thou wilt not murder me. Help! Help! Help!
Oh, help, 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 help.
How now? A rat? Dead for a ducat. Dead.
Oh, I am slain.
What have you done?
Nay, I know not. Is it the king?
What a rash and bloody deed is this?
A bloody deed. Almost as bad, good mother, as kill a king and marry with his brother.
Us kill a king?
Aye, 'twas my word. Oh, thou wretched, rash, intruding fool. Farewell. I took thee for thy better. Take thy fortune. Thou find'st to be too busy is some danger. Oh, leave wringing of your hands. Peace, sit you down, and let me wring your heart. For so I shall, if it be made of penetrable stuff, if damned custom have not brassed it so that it is proof and bulwark against sense.
What have I done, that thou darest wag thy tongue against me in noise so rude?
Such an act that blurs the grace and blush of modesty. calls virtue hypocrite, plucks off the rose from the fair forehead of an innocent love, and sets a blister there. Yea, this solidity and compound mass, his thoughts with tristful visage as against the doom, his thought sick at the act.
Ay me, what act? That roars so loud and thunders in the index.
Look here. Upon this picture and on this, the counterfeit presentment of two brothers. See what a grace was seated on this brow. Hyperion's curls, the front of Jove himself, an eye like Mars to threaten and command. A combination and a form indeed where every god did seem to set his seal to give the world assurance of a man. This was your husband. Look you now what follows. Here is your husband, like a mildewed ear, blasting his wholesome brother. Have you eyes? Could you on this fair mountain leave to feed and batten on this moor? Have you eyes? You cannot call it love, for at your age, the heyday in the blood is tame, it's humble, and waits upon the judgment. Eyes without feeling, feeling without sight, hands without eyes or ears, smell, sounds all, or but a sickly part of one true sense could not so mope. Oh, shame! Where is thy blush? A murderer and a villain! A vice of kings who from a shelf the precious diadem stole and put it in his pocket.
No more.
A keg of shreds and patches! Save me, and hover o'er me with your wings, you heavenly guards. What would your gracious figure?
Alas, he's mad.
Do you not come your tardy son to chide? That, lapsed in time and passion, lets go by the important acting of your dread command. Oh, say,
This visitation is but to whet your almost blunted purpose. But look, amazement on your mother sits. Step between her and her fighting soul. Conceit on weakest bodies strongly works. Speak to her, Hamlet.
how is it with you, lady?
Alas, how is it with you that you do bend your eye on vacancy, and with the incorporeal air do hold discourse? For that your eye your spirits wildly peep, and as the bedded soldiers in the alarm, your hair starts up and stands on end. Oh, gentle sun, upon the heat and flame of thy distemper, sprinkle cool patience. Whereon do you look?
On him! On him! See how pale he glares. His cause and form conjoined, preaching to stones would make them capable. Oh, do not look upon me!
To whom do you speak this?
Do you see nothing there?
Nothing at all, yet all that is I see.
Nor did you nothing hear?
No, nothing but ourselves.
Look how it steals away. Look, my father in his habit as he lived, Look where he goes, even now, out at the portal.
This is the very coinage of your brain. This bodiless creation, ecstasy is very cunning in.
Mother, lay not that mattering unction to your soul, that not your trespass, but my madness speaks. It will but skin and film the ulcerous place, whilst rank corruption, mining all within, infects unseen. Repent what's past. Avoid what's to come. And do not spread the compost on the weeds to make them ranker.
Hamlet, thou hast cleft my heart in twain.
We'll throw away the worser part of it and live the purer with the other half. Good night. But go not to mine uncle's bed. Assume a virtue, if you have it not. Refrain tonight, and it shall lend a kind of easiness to the next abstinence, the next more easy. Once more, good night. For this same fellow I do repent, but heaven hath pleased it so, to punish me with this, and this with me, that I must be both scourge and minister. Thus, bad begins, and worse remains behind. One word more, good lady.
What shall I do?
Not this that I bid you do. Let the bloat king tempt you again to bed, pinch wanton on your cheek, call you his mouse, make you to ravel all this out, that I am not in madness, but am mad in craft. 'Twere good you let him know. I must to England, you know that.
Alack, I had forgot. 'Tis so concluded on.
There's letters sealed, and my 2 schoolfellows, whom I will trust as I will adders fanged, they bear the mandate to sweep my way and marshal me to knavery. Let it work. For 'tis the sport to have the engineer hoist on his own petard. And it shall go hard, but I will delve 1 yard below their mines and blow them at the moon. This man shall set me packing. I'll lug the guts into the neighbor room. Mother, good night. Indeed, this council is now most still, most secret, and most grave. Who was in life a foolish, prating knave. Come, sir, to draw toward an end with you. Good night, mother.
There's a changeover now. If the cast members who are seated, please come up here and wait for the next cast change with members come out and take your seats. Yep, you're still here until they come. We're on down. On a lighter note, I'm pleased to present Suzanne Pemsler.
Oh, that's way down.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit lower. I think
It's way down. I can't see it.
Raise it up. Raise it up.
See, in Elizabethan times, they had it lower. There we go. Thank you. At the start of the movie version of Much Ado About Nothing, Emma Thompson, sitting atop a tree branch, speaks the words of this song to the assembled group below. Her message to the women is, be blithe and bonny. Convert all your sounds of woe into hey, nonny, nonny, nonny. Oh. I'm awaiting the orchestra. Sigh no more, lady, sigh no more. Men were deceivers ever. One foot in sea and one on shore. To one thing constant, never. Then sigh not so, but let them go and be blithe and bonny, converting all your sounds of woe into hey, nonny, nonny. Sing, I can't see you guys though. Sing no more, ditty, sing no more of dumps so dull and heavy. The fraud of men was so since summer first was leavy. Then sigh not so, but let them go, and be you blithe and bonny, converting all your sounds of woe into hey, nonny, nonny. Then sigh not so, but let them go, and be you blithe and bonny, converting all your sounds of woe into hey, nonny,
In the prologue to Romeo and Juliet, Shakespeare sums up his play with the words, no, wrong one. Oh, I jumped. Sorry about that. The song just got to me. The rivalry in the 15th century of the houses of Lancaster and York for the throne of England, later known as the War of the Roses, gave rise to the tetralogy of Shakespeare plays, Henry VI, Parts 1, 2, and 3, and Richard III. In Henry VI, Part 3, Richard of York, who has schemed to make himself king, has been defeated at the Battle of Wakefield. Queen Margaret taunts the captive Richard before having him killed. Nancy Walcott is Queen Margaret, Don Yapel, the unfortunate Duke.
brave warriors, Clifford and Northumberland, come, make him stand upon this molehill here, that rotted mountains with outstretched arms, yet parted but the shadow with his hand. Come. What? Wast you that would be England's king? Wast you that revelled in our parliament and made a preachment of your high descent? Where are your mess of sons to back you now? The wanton Edward and the lusty George. And where is that valiant crook-backed prodigy of yours, Dickie, your boy, who was, with his grumbling voice, was wont to cheer his dad in mutinies? Or, with the rest, where is your darling Rutland? Look, York, I stained this napkin with the blood that valiant Clifford with his rapier's point made issue from the bosom of the boy. And if thine eyes can water for his death, I give thee this, to dry thy cheeks withal. I prithee, grieved, make me merry, York. What? Hath thy fiery heart so parched thine entrails that not a tear can fall for Rutland's death? Why art thou patient, man? Thou shouldst be mad. And I, to make thee mad, do mock thee thus. Step, rave, and fret, that I may sing and dance. Lo, York must be feed, I see, to make me sport. York cannot speak unless he wear a crown. A crown for York, and lords bow low to him. Hold you his hands while I do set it on. Aye, marry, sir, now looks he like a king. This is he that took King Henry's chair, and this is he that was his adopted heir. But how is it that great Plantagenet is crowned so soon, and broke his holy oath? As I bethinks me, thou should not be king till our King Henry had shook hands with death. And will you pale your head in Henry's glory and rob his temples of the diadem now in his life? Against your holy oath. Oh, 'tis a fault too unpardonable. Off with the crown, and with the crown his head, and whilst we breathe, take time to do him dead.
And now, in the prologue to Romeo and Juliet, Shakespeare sums up his play with the words, "A pair of star-crossed lovers take their life." Star-crossed, his astrological term, has come to describe other doomed pairs, like Tristan and Isolde, Heathcliff and Cathy, and, why not, Bergman and Bogart in Casablanca. In today's 3 scenes from Romeo and Juliet, we spare the bloody deeds and ponder the words of Juliet, her nurse, and parents, as Juliet is propelled towards her inevitable demise. First, from Act 1, Scene 3, before meeting Romeo, Juliet has readily agreed to abide by the choice of Lord Capulet, her father, and take Paris as her husband. In the second scene, Capulet throws a ball to celebrate the forthcoming wedding. Alas and alack for Juliet, who meets Romeo at the ball, but cheers for us, for there would be scant plot without their meeting. The final scene takes us to Act 3, where the clandestine marriage and overnight tryst with Romeo. Juliet has a deeper problem to contemplate as she reneges on her promise to wed Paris. Mimi Hooper is our Juliet, her nurse is Peggy Wood, Bill Boone is Lord Capulet, Judy Hewell is Lady Capulet, and Fred Martin is a cousin Capulet.
Nurse, where is my daughter? Call her forth to me.
Now by my maidenhead at 12-year-old, I bade her come. What lamb? What ladybird? Oh, God forbid, where is this girl? What, Juliet?
How now, calls?
Your mother.
Oh, madam, I am here. What is your will?
This is the matter. Nurse, give leave a while. We must talk in secret. Nurse, come back again. I have remembered me. Thou's hear our counsel. Thou know'st my daughter's of a pretty age.
Faith and I can tell her age unto an hour.
She's not 14.
I'll lay you 14 of my teeth, though to my teeth be it spoken I have but 4. She's not 14. How long is it to Lammas-tide?
A fortnight in odd days.
Even or odd, of all days of the year, come Lammas-tide at eve, at night shall she be 14. Susan and she were of an age. God rest all Christian souls. Well, Susan is with God. She was too good for me. But as I said, come Lammas-tide at night shall she be 14. That shall she marry. I remember it well. 'Tis since the earthquake now 11 years, and she was weaned. I never shall forget it. Of all the days of the year, for on that day I had laid the wormwood to my Doug, sitting in the sun under the dove house wall. My lord and you were then at Mantua. Nay, I do bear a brain, but as I said, when it did taste the wormwood on the nipple of my Doug, and felt it bitter, ooh, to see it tetchy and fall out with the Doug. Shake, quoth the dove house, no need, I trow, to bid me trudge. And since that time it is 11 years, for she could stand alone. Nay, by the rood, she could run and waddle all about. For even the day before, she broke her brow. And my husband, oh, God be with his soul, was a merry man. Took up the child, yea, Jewel, quoth he, dost thou fall upon thy face? You'll fall backwards when you have more wit, will you not, Jewel? And by my holy dame, the pretty wretch left crying and said, "Aye," to see how a jest will come about. I warrant that I should live 1,000 years, I never should forget it. Wilt thou not, Jewel, quoth he? And the pretty wretch extinted and said, "Aye."
Enough of this, I pray thee. Hold thy peace.
Peace I have done. God mark thee to his grace. Thou wast the prettiest babe that e'er I nursed, and I should live to see thee married once. I have my wish.
Marry. That marry is the very theme I came to talk of. Tell me, daughter Juliet, how stands your disposition to be married?
It is an honor I have dreamed not of.
An honor? Were I not thine only nurse, I would say thou hadst sucked wisdom from thy teeth.
Well, think of marriage now. Younger than you, I was your mother, much upon these years that you are still a maid. Thus, then, in brief, The valiant Paris seeks you for his love.
A man, young lady, what a man. As all the world, why, he's a man of wax.
Verona's summer hath not such a flower.
Nay, he's a flower, a very flower.
What say you? Can you love the gentleman? This precious book of love, this unbound lover? To beautify him only lacks a cover. Some say that book shall share the glory that in gold clasps locks in the golden story. So shall you share all that he doth possess, and by having him, making yourself no less.
No less, nay, bigger. Women grow by men.
I'll look to like, if looking liking move, but no more deep will I dart mine eye than your consent gives strength to make it fly.
Juliet, the Count awaits.
Go, girl, seek happy nights to happy days.
Welcome, gentlemen. Ladies that have their toes unplagued with corns will have a bout with you. Aha, my mistresses. Which of you all will now deny to dance? She that makes dainty, she, I'll swear, has corns. Aha, have I come near you now? Welcome, gentlemen. I have seen the day that I have worn a visor and could tell a whispering tale in a fair lady's ear, such as would please. Ha! 'Tis gone, 'tis gone, 'tis gone. Gentlemen, you are welcome. Come, musicians, play! Nay, sit, good cousin Capulet. For you and I are past our dancing days. How long is now since last yourself and I were in a mask?
Fire lady, 30 years.
Oh, what man? 'Tis not so much. 'Tis not so much. Come, cuz, come.
Ho, daughter, are you up?
How now, who calls? Is it my lady mother? Is she not down so late or up so early? What unaccustomed cause procures her hither?
Why, how now, Juliet?
Madam, I am not well.
Evermore weeping for their cousin's death? What, wilt thou wash him from his grave with tears? And if thou couldst not make him live. Therefore, have done. Some grief shows much of love, but much of grief shows still some want of wit.
Yet let me grieve for such a feeling loss.
Well, girl, thou weepst not so much for thy cousin's death, as that the villain lives which slaughtered him.
What villain, madam?
That same villain, Romeo. We shall seek vengeance, and then thou wilt be satisfied.
Indeed, I shall never be satisfied with Romeo till I behold him dead. Is my poor heart for a kinsman vexed? Madam, if you would find out but a man to bear a poison, I would temper it, that Romeo, upon receipt thereof, would soon sleep in quiet. Oh, how my heart abhors to hear him named, and cannot come to him to wreak the love I bore my cousin upon the body that slaughtered him.
Find thou the means, and I'll find you the man. But now I bring you joyful tidings, girl.
And joy comes well in such a needy time. What are they? I beseech your ladyship.
Well, well, thou hast a careful father, child. one who, to put thee from thy heaviness, hath sorted out a sudden day of joy, that thou expecteth not, and I look not for.
In happy time, what day is that?
Oh, marry, my child. Early next Thursday morn, the gallant, young, and noble gentleman, the County Paris at St. Peter's Church, shall happily make you there a joyful bride.
Now, by St. Peter's Church, and Peter too, he shall not make me there a joyful bride. I wonder at this haste that I must wed, ere he who should be husband come to woo. I pray you, madam, tell my lord and father I will not marry yet, and when I do, I swear it shall be Romeo, whom you know I hate, rather than Paris. He's a news indeed.
Here comes your father. Tell him so yourself, and see how he will take it at your hand.
When the sun sets, the air doth drizzle dew. But for the sunset of my brother's son, it rains down bright. How now? A conduit girl? What, still in tears, evermore showering? Oh. In one little body, thou counterfeits a bark, a sea, a wind. For still thy eyes, which I may call the sea, do ebb and flow with tears. The bark thy body is, sailing in this salt flood. The winds are thy sighs, who raging with thy tears, and they with them. Oh, without a sudden calm, will overset thy tempest-tossed body. How now, wife? Have you delivered to her our decree?
Aye, sir, but she will none. She gives you thanks. I would the fool were married to her grave.
Salt! Take me with you. Take me with you, wife. How? Will she none? Does she not give us thanks? Is she not proud? Does she not count her blessed, unworthy as she is, that we have wrought so worthy a gentleman to be her bridegroom? Thank me no thankings, nor proud me no prouds. But fettle your fine joints 'gainst Thursday next to go with Paris to St. Peter's Church. Or I will drag thee on a hurdle thither.
Oh, fie, fie, what, are you mad?
Good father, I beseech you, on my knees, with patience, hear me speak but a word.
Hang the young baggage. Disobedient wretch. I tell thee what, get thee to church a Thursday, or never after look me in the face. Speak not, reply not, do not answer me. My fingers itch. Wife, we scarce thought us blessed that God had lent us but this only child. But now I see this one is one too much, and we have a curse in having her.
God in heaven bless her. You are to blame, sir, to raise her so.
And why, my lady wisdom, hold your tongue?
I speak no treason.
Judge again.
I may well not speak.
Peace, you mumbling fool. Utter your gravity or a gossip's bowl, for here we need it not.
You are too high.
God's bread makes me mad. Day, night, hour, tide, time. Work, play, alone, in company. Still my care hath been to have her matched. And having now delivered a gentleman of noble parentage, a fair domains, youthful and nobly trained. stuffed, as they say, with honorable parts. Proportion as one's thought would wish a man. And then to have a wretched, puling fool, a whining mammoth, in her fortune's tender, to answer, I will not wed. I cannot love. I am too young. I pray you pardon me. But, as you will not wed, I'll pardon you. Graze where you will. You shall not house with me. Look to it, think on't. I do not use to jest. Thursday is near. Lay hand on heart, advise, and you be mine. I give you to my friend, and you be not. Hang, beg, starve, die in the streets. By my soul, I'll ne'er acknowledge thee. Now what is mine shall never do thee good. Trust to it. Bethink you, I'll not be forsworn.
Is there no pity sitting in the clouds, sees into the depth of my grief? Oh, sweet my mother, cast me not away.
Speak not to me, for I'll not say a word. Do as thou wilt, for I have done with thee.
Oh, God! Oh, nurse! How shall this be prevented? What sayest thou? Hast thou not a word of joy? Some comfort, nurse?
Faith, and here it is. Romeo is banished. I'll lay all the world to nothing he dares ne'er come back to challenge you. Or if he do, it needs must be by stealth. Then, since the case so stands as now it doth, I think it best you're married with the county. Oh, he's a lovely gentleman. Romeo's a dishclout to him. Beshrew my very heart, an evil madam hath not so fair, so clean, so quick an eye as Paris hath. Beshrew my very heart, I think you are happy in this second match, for it excels your first. Or if it did not, your first is dead. Or 'twere as good he were, as living here, and you no use of him.
Speakest thou from thy heart?
And from my soul as well, or else beshrew them both.
Amen.
What?
Well, thou hast comforted me marvelous much. Go in and tell my lady I am gone, having displeased my father, to Lawrence's cell to make my confession and to be absolved.
Marry, that I will, and this is wisely done.
Few Shakespearean murders are as graphically portrayed as that of Desdemona in Act 5 of Othello, where the Moor strangles her on stage. Here we become transported and our throats tighten. Though we know the outcome, we somehow hope that Desdemona's pleading will stop Othello from the gruesome deed, if only for this one time. Today we will step back in Act to Act 4. Iago's plot has taken hold. Desdemona is aware that she has fallen out of Othello's favor, and she presupposes her doom. Elizabeth Neild is Desdemona, Kate McGillicuddy is Amelia, her maidservant, and Maggie Seeger is the voice of Barbary.
How goes it now? He looks gentler than he did.
He says he will return incontinent. He hath commanded me to go to bed and bade me to dismiss you.
Dismiss me?
It was his bidding. Therefore, good Amelia, give me my knightly wearings and adieu. We must not now displease him.
I would you had never seen him.
So would not I. My love doth so approve him, that even his stubbornness, his checks, his frowns, prithee unpin me, have grace and favour in them.
I've laid those sheets you bade me on the bed.
All's one. Good faith, how foolish are our minds. If I do die before thee, prithee shroud me in one of those same sheets.
Come, come, you talk.
My mother had a maid called Barbara. She was in love, and he she loved proved mad and did forsake her. She had a song of willow, an old thing 'twas, but it expressed her fortune, and she died singing it. That song tonight will not go from my mind. I have much to do but to go hang my head all at one side and sing it like poor Barbara. Prithee, dispatch.
Shall I go fetch your nightgown?
No, unpin me here. This Ludovico is a proper man.
A very handsome man.
He speaks well.
I know a lady in Venice would have walked barefoot to Palestine for a touch of his nether lip.
Lay by these. Prithee hie thee, he'll come anon.
The poor soul sat sighing by a sycamore tree, sing all a green willow, her hand on her bosom, her head on her knee. Sing willow, willow, willow. The fresh streams ran by her and murmured her moans. Sing willow, willow, willow. Her salt tears fell from her and softened the stones. Sing willow, willow, willow. Sing all a green willow must be my garland. Let nobody blame him, his scorn I approve. I called my love false love, but what said he then? If you court more women, I'll couch with more men.
Nay, that's not next. Hark, who's it that knocks?
It's the wind.
So get thee gone, good night. Mine eyes do itch. Doth that bode weeping?
'Tis neither here nor there.
I have heard it said so. Oh, these men, these men. Dost thou in conscience think, tell me, Amelia, that there be women do abuse their husbands in such gross kind?
There be some such, no question.
Wouldst thou do such a deed for all the world?
Why, would not you?
No, by this heavenly light.
Nor I neither, by this heavenly light. I might do it as well in the dark.
Wouldst thou do such a deed for all the world?
The world's a huge thing. It is a great price for a small vice.
In troth, I think thou wouldst not.
In troth, I think I should, and undo it when I had done. Marry, I would not do such a thing for a joint ring, nor for measures of lawn, nor for gowns, petticoats, nor caps, nor any petty exhibition. But for the whole world, why, would not make her husband a cuckold to make him a monarch. I should venture purgatory for it.
Beshrew me if I would do such a wrong for the whole world.
Why, the wrong is but a wrong in the world, and having the world for your labor, 'tis a wrong in your own world, and you might quickly make it right.
I do not think there is any such woman.
Yes, a dozen, and as many to the vantage as would store the world they played for. But I do think it is their husbands' fault if wives do fall. Say that they slack their duties and pour our treasures into foreign laps, or else break out in peevish jealousy, throwing restraint upon us, or say they strike us, or scant our former having in despite. Why, we have galls, and though we have some grace, yet have we some revenge. Let husbands know their wives have sense like them. They see and smell and have their palates both for sweet and sour, as husbands have. What is it that they do when they change us for others? Is it sport? I think it is. Then doth affection breed it? I think it doth. Is it frailty that thus errs? It is so too. And have we not affections, desires for sport, and frailty as men have? Then let them use us well. Else let them know the ills we do. Their ills instruct us so.
Good night, good night. Heaven me such uses send, not to pick bad from bad, but by bad men.
Our finale today takes us back to King Lear. Playing Lear has been the challenging role for Shakespearean actors. Laurence Olivier entered the stage leaning on Cordelia's arm to support his 80 years. Ian Holm marched vigorously on stage, barking orders and drumming his fingers on the table. Corin Redgrave, in a 2004 production, trumped them both by entering tottering on canes, then smiling vigorously, dropped the canes and stood upright, thus playing a practical joke on the courtiers who applauded the performance. During Francis Adelson's centennial celebration performance last April, Bill Boone and Pat Meany pledged to continue Francis' tradition of performing Lear and Cordelia. Today we have the pleasure of watching Bill recreate Lear and Pat recreate Cordelia, another challenging role. Don Yapel plays Kent. We will see them first in Act 1, Scene 1, where Lear is set to divide his kingdom among his daughters.
And now our joy, although the last not least, to whose young love the vines of France and milk of Burgundy strive to be entrusted. What can you say to draw a third more opulent than your sisters? Speak.
Nothing, my lord.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Nothing will come of nothing. Speak again.
Unhappy as I am, I cannot heave my heart into my throat. I love your majesty according to my bond. Not more and not less.
Oh, how, Cordelia? Mend your speech a little, lest it mar your fortunes.
Oh, good my lord, you have begot me, bred me, loved me, and I return those duties as our right fit. I will obey you, love you, and most honor you. But why have my sisters husbands if they say they love you all? Haply, when I shall wed, that lord whose hand will take my plight will carry half my love with him, half my care and duty. I shall not marry like my sisters and love my father all.
But goes thy heart with this?
Aye, my lord.
So young and so untender.
So young, my lord, but true.
Let it be so. Thy truth, then, be thy dower. I here disclaim all my parental care, propinquity, and property of blood, and as a stranger to my heart and me, hold thee
from this forever. The barbarous Scythian, and it's he that makes his generation messes to gorge his appetite, shall to my bosom be as well neighbored, pitied, and relieved as thou, my sometime daughter.
Our last scene takes us near the end of the play to Act 4, Scene 7, where Cordelia tries to comfort Lear, who is broken both in body and in spirit.
Oh, my poor father. Restoration, hang thy medicine upon my lips, and let this kiss repair the violent harms my two sisters have in thy reference made. What was this a face to be opposed against the warring winds? Mine enemy's dog, though he had bit me, would have stayed that night against my fire. Oh, and was thou fain, poor father, to suffer thee with swine and rogues forlorn, in short and musty straw? Alack! Alack! 'Tis wonder that thy life and wits have not concluded all. But he wakes. How now, my royal lord? How fares your majesty?
You do me wrong to take me out of the grave. Thou art a soul in bliss, but I am bound upon a wheel of fire, that mine own tears do scald like molten lead.
Sir, do you know me?
Ah, you are a spirit I know. When did you die?
Still far wide.
Where have I been? Where am I? Fair daylight. I am mightily abused. I should even die with pity to see another thus. I know not what to say. I will not swear these are my hands. Let's see. I feel this pinprick. Would I were assured of mine own condition.
Look upon me, sir, and spread your hands in benediction o'er me. No, 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 you must not kneel.
Pray, do not mock me. I'm a foolish, fond old man. 80 and upward, not an hour more nor less. And to deal plainly, I fear I am not in my perfect mind. Methinks I should know you and know this man, yet I am doubtful. For mainly, I am ignorant what place this is. And all the skill I have remembers not these garments. Nor I know not where I did lodge last night. Do not laugh at me, but as I am a man, I think this lady to be my child Cordelia.
Oh, and so I am. I am.
Your tears wet. Yes, Faith. I pray you, weep not. If you have poison for me, I will drink it. I know you do not love me, for your sisters have, as I do remember, done me wrong. You have some cause. They have not.
No cause. No cause.
Am I in France?
No, in your own kingdom, my lord.
Do not abuse me.
Wilt please thy highness walk?
You must bear with me. Pray you now, forget and forgive. I am old and foolish. Thank you very much
Thanks
for coming.
It was great, yes.
Not at all, not at all.
Well, yes, that's fine. That's fine. Yes.
That was great.
Well, okay, take it.
This is your jewel.
Thank you for
I screwed up. I put somebody before you, but the seats went wrong.
Great, as always.
It was beautiful.
No, you look great.
Oh, I was. Thank you.
I think it went out.
I was sitting there crying. I said, "This is your part."
With a little practice, you'll go places.
That was so beautiful. I thought I didn't think so. It was more beautiful today than ever. I thought I can't believe it. It was beautiful.
Oh, thank you for coming. That's what makes it. It was such a, really appreciate it. Thanks. It was fun. We had a good time.
I don't know who it was. Where's my daughter? Where was she? Where was she? Oh, what did I just get in my eye? Ah! Hey, whoops! I'm gonna break my neck. Sure.
So are you, my darling.
Oh, excuse me.
Suzanne, you're going to have to stand back far from me.